Okay, so in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you a little bit about user input and manipulating objects such as text boxes. Only briefly, but for now it is that. We're going to make a new project first. Windows form, let's call it basic input and manipulation. How do you spell it? Whatever. Right, let's rename the form to input list. Okay. FRM, for, which means it's short for form naming convention again, and we're going to call it form basic input. A good habit is pressing Control S quite often after you've made changes, which automatically saves it. So when you might see my mouse flickering like that. Not sure if you can see that or not, but it means it's saving it essentially. And also, let's just disable the icon. Can't remember where it is. Should be show icon, yeah. Just double click that, or you can go in the drop down. There you go. Now that's the icon gone. So if we start this up, when we click start, actually it just compiles in the IDE, integrated development environment, which is this right here, Visual Studio. So it's compiled it and there's nothing on there right now. So first off, I'm just going to introduce you to the toolbox. Toolbox over here contains every single control you might need, but you can, that's not all of them, you can add more. You can get them online as well. Yeah, I'm not going to wait for all that, but there's a lot more as well. If you need anything, yeah, I guess you could just Google. So first off, we're just going to grab a text box. You can press like T to go to the T section, I guess. It's alphanumeric. Alpha. It's sorted alphabetically. There you go. I'll just say that. I believe it is, isn't it? B, C, D. Yeah, it is. Seems to be. So there's a text box. We're just going to resize it. And also remember, these little blue lines you've seen there and there, is to like organize objects. We're also going to have a label. Pink line means it's like in the middle of it, essentially, you could say, of the other text box, of this text box. I'm not sure if you heard that. That was my phone. What am I doing? What am I doing? I can't click. So I'm gonna call this name, and then we're gonna. And I didn't rename the actual. I didn't click on that. That's useful. So as name, is it up top? God damn it! What is it? God damn it! Oh, it's right there. So label is LBL. So we do a label name. So this is linked with this. These two are linked together, essentially. In theory, and not literally linked. It's just so you know that these two go together, essentially. Especially in code, that's the most useful. So text boxes are, oh my god, txt. So do, can do text, right? Just do txt and then name. So now they're properly linked. So if I click on this LBL name, and then this is txt name, so you know they're together, essentially, a pair. So next we're going to use a button. Buttons are usually used for executing chunks of code. Visual Basic is event driven, which means that every little thing has an event. So if you click on this text box when running, or type anything, those are both events. There's a lot of events reaching, especially a button click. That's the main thing with the button, obviously. That's the main event the button has. Everything is event driven. So the main use of the button is when clicked, it'll execute a bunch of code that you write. So let's just name this a minute, button, and then execute, I guess. I don't know, can't think of something. I'll just call this execute. Make this smaller. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to make it so that it shows a message box that contains whatever you put into this text box. Okay? So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to do an if statement to check if the text box is not empty, because we don't want to make it so that even if it's empty, we click on it, it'll still show a message. We don't want that. What we're going to do is we're going to do if not, which means what we're checking if the text box has not, and then whatever, I'll show you in a minute. So if not, text name dot text equals nothing, then didn't mean that in caps, accidentally hit caps lock. So if the text box isn't empty, then we want to do something here. Look, there's also, you can do else, so you can give the user an error, for example. Input is empty, and do critical, I guess. Title, just do error. Right, so if the text box isn't empty, then it'll do this. We haven't put anything there. If it is empty, it'll show this text box. So right now, if I just click execute, it shows this because it is empty. Yeah, it doesn't do anything because there's nothing there yet. So now I'm going to make it so it's going to show a message box, but it uses the name as well that we typed in. You can type in any name, it doesn't have to be your own, but whatever. So the message is going to be hello, and then okay, so let me just explain something first. Everything in quotes, there has to be a set of quotes, so like that, is everything inside that is a string. Strings can contain anything, but you cannot do maths on them. That's the main thing you have to remember. So we're just going to concatenate, I still can't say that word, concatenate, this phrase, include in space, and our name. So we'll do message box, hello, comma, space, and text, name, dot text. So the reason we put dot text on the end of the text box is so we access the text property. Text property will contain wherever we typed in that text box. So I'm gonna add a god damn it, go away, please. I'm gonna add a information style, and the title will be hello. So if you run this, it should work fine. So if I put nothing in it, it should put an error. Yeah, input is empty. If I enter, it should say hello Mansell. Yeah, there you go. Let me just add onto this. Yeah, also you can't really edit stuff if it's running. You need to stop debugging, which is a square button, or you can pause it. I believe. Okay, apparently not. Done that, don't bother. Just exit the debugger, sorry. And we're gonna add just an exclamation mark at the end. So run it, it'll just say. So it works. That's all I wanted to cover in this tutorial. I'll see you guys next time.